Hello everybody, my name is Nairi and you will find me on the Nairi Squires channel where I talk about adoption family life. But lots of things that I talk about, whether it be my experience of adoption and fostering or children with trauma, are going to be helpful to you if you are a potential foster carer, adopter, or you're already doing either of those things. So if you think that could be helpful to you, then please just hit the pink subscribe button you'll see in the corner of the screen. So let's get to it. Today we're going to talk about disclosures and how difficult it is to decide how to deal with disclosures, particularly when they're of a sexual nature. And I'm going to share with you some of my experiences, and that's all they are at the end of the day. But I hope that you find them really helpful, because I kind of wish I had someone to share them with me before I went through what I went through. So I was a foster carer for 5 years before we adopted our two boys, and we did complex children, and a couple of the children at least had, high level of sexual abuse experience, so disclosures did happen. Now, what I found really difficult about disclosures, where the child wanted to confide in me, I built a relationship with them, they learnt to trust me, and therefore they wanted to tell me. But unfortunately, the big block in all of our minds as soon as a child starts disclosing is, oh no, where's my paper? I need to make sure that I get this down verbatim, or I'm going to be in terrible trouble. And we almost have this thing in the back of our minds that a disclosure is a particular sort of escalon of something happening. And the reality is, a disclosure is a conversation. It's a conversation that a child wants to have with you, because you might well be the first person that they've trusted. So we've got to get the balance between getting it right, so that if things go to court, we've got everything written down that we need to, sharing it with the right people at the earliest opportunity, but being open for that child to come back and tell us more, and not shutting them down. And this is a really fine balance to get. So we need to be open with them so that they want to discuss things with us, but we don't want to encourage them to discuss things with us that haven't actually happened, or put words into their mouths, etc., etc. So the way that I feel is best really is to give them plenty of time away, and it's not really possible to sit there with pen and paper and write everything down they say, but disclosures can be extremely long. So what is really good, if you can do this, is if there is a particular time of day that they are disclosing to you, whether it be in the car or before they go to bed. That's two popular ones when it's going to happen. You just listen to what they say, and you acknowledge what they say. So it's no good just sitting there and just looking blank, because you don't want to encourage them and you're freezing because a disclosure is happening. So you've got to be listening to them like you would listen to any normal human being, and listen to what they're saying. If you are confused, as in you don't understand what they're saying, or you didn't hear a word properly, then I think it's okay to clarify that. So if you think you heard something but you're not sure if they said that, you could just say, could you repeat that please? Or, to me, to clarify what they're saying. I think that's fine. And then as soon as the disclosure has happened, as soon as is humanly possible, you need to find somebody else to have the child, and you need to go away and write it down or type it up as quickly as you can, and just type up what they said to you. And if you had to interject there to clarify something, then put where you were sharing that with the social worker, the child social worker. Or if you're an adopter, then you're going to ring the agency and you're going to get hold of the person that was in charge of your case, or you're going to share it with whoever you can, and make sure that that's been emailed through to somebody. And what we found with disclosures as well is, once they started, they were on a bit of a roll really. They kept happening. So then every night there'd be a disclosure, and it can be very intense and very, very emotional, because it is sometimes hard to believe what they come out with. You cannot believe that children can go through things sometimes like you hear, and it's very upsetting. So you need to be, you can't just, I think some people think that you can just sit there like a stone statue and listen to these things and not be affected by it. I don't think there's any harm in the child seeing that you're affected by it. there's no harm in them seeing true emotion. They might not even understand why you're experiencing that, but we are human, and I think that's okay. I think it's okay to show some emotion. And clearly what you're going to need to do if you've got something that's is beginning to open out, is keep really short accounts. Like every day, write it up. If it's happening every day, the disclosure is happening every day, and every day send that, however small that thing is, straight over to the social worker at your earliest opportunity. And keep your paper records, or keep the records really acutely somewhere ready, because you're probably going to end up passing it over to somebody at some point, in physically, I mean. Hopefully that helps you guys. The final thing to say is that in my experience, there was very little help in helping us to process what we'd heard. There's some sexual things that I heard about that I never knew existed, and I don't think I'm that sheltered. I really don't. So I think it does play on your mind, the pictures of what you see in your mind, of what's been said to you. So is important to find somebody to be able to share that with, that can keep confidence. There's not always the option to share properly with a social worker or a therapist. It's not always out there. I mean, if you can find that, that's great. But if not, you need that trusted person, which I talk about a lot in my videos. It's not going to be somebody in the family that's going to be getting upset, so upset about it that they can't cope, or so traumatized about it. It's going to be somebody that hopefully you've identified all the way through the process as your go-to person that you can share with and cry with and offload with. So guys, I hope that helps you. I always want to help you, because I would have loved to have, these extra snippets of information and help myself. And I just love sharing with you guys. So if you think you are going to find my channel useful, when I cover different types of abuse on there, and trauma, attachment, processes that we've gone through as adopters and even foster carers, then please just hit the circle button with my face in at the end of the video, and I look forward to seeing you on my next one. So thank you for listening now. Goodbye.